Well, hey! Hi, I'm Moody, helping you to fish smarter, not harder. Today I'm looking at Garmin's Echomap Ultra series of depth sounders. They come in a 10-inch unit and a 12-inch unit, and to say they're an exciting development is an understatement. In recent years, most depth sounders have only had the ability to use three main functions: 2D, otherwise known as traditional, side scan and down scan. But Ultra also supports the Livescope transducer without using the added-on black box. Livescope, for those that haven't heard, provides a virtual underwater x-ray of what is going on around you in real time. So you can watch fish follow your lure, interact with bait fish, and keep track of the fish as they move around your spot so you can follow them around. It's actually more fun than the fishing, to the point where we got so sidetracked one day playing with Livescope and some school-sized barra that the boat drifted onto the bank and the dog jumped out and got covered in mangrove mud. So not only is it entertaining when the fish are not on the chew, it's also an educational tool because it helps you work out fish patterns. I wish I had this 30 years ago when I first started my charter fishing career. To get the Livescope functionality, you will need to purchase the separate transducer. The transducer in the box with the unit is the GT54. This is the new breed of transducer called a high-wide. Typically, a high frequency provides the best target separation in the display. What I mean by that is, two objects show up as two objects. A low frequency will clump them into one. So if there's a fish in between, you'll only see it with a high frequency. The downside is that high frequency sound waves do not penetrate far into the water. To compensate, manufacturers narrow down the beam angles to project the power into a smaller area so it will travel further. As you can see from the right triangle, this is fine in slightly deeper water because the beam spreads as it goes down further. But in shallower water, you are left with very little coverage on the bottom. Until now, in the GT54, Garmin have sacrificed depth penetration to create the best shallow water transducer available. As you can see, by the high-wide triangle, they have widened the beam to give better coverage in shallow water, yet still maintaining great target separation capability of the high frequency. But note, it does not have good penetration. So to recap, Garmin High-Wide gives you the good target separation and coverage, but only in shallow water, as the 2D function works best up to around about that 60 to 70 metres. For searching, the side imager frequencies on the unit include 1120 kHz ultra high definition for super clear resolution and target separation in those shallower estuaries and lakes, plus 455 kHz for the slightly deeper water if you like to go searching offshore a little bit, up to around that 40 to 50 metre mark. If all this sounds confusing, do my Sounder Skills 2 course and it will explain it all. There will be a link below the video. So let's take the Ultra 125 in this case for a test run and see how it functions. I've made a few minor adjustments just to get a better picture, but for the beginners out there, auto is very good as well. Okay, I'm coming up to a couple of spots here. One's a bit of a ledge, the other one's a bit of a rock. A little bit of life on the top of it there, just something small. So we're going to zigzag along here, give it a bit of an assessment and see what we can find. It's a bit choppy today and the tides are a little bit big for this area, but there might be a few fish hanging around. Just going to zigzag our way on and off it. Here we are, we're just coming up onto the top peak of it and that'll drop off. A few fish, or the edge of an echo of a fish. If I only had a narrow beam and that was a fish that the high-wide only got the edge of, well, you wouldn't see it at all on your traditional narrow high-frequency beam. So I'll come back in again, make my way along the ledge. Things do look a little distorted in rough weather, especially in small boats. You'll notice those red lines, that's the boat rocking, and the ripples in the bottom. That's just one of the many different illusions that sounders can throw at you, and we teach you all those kind of things in Sounder Skills 2. Back up the ledge again. Not a lot happening there today. Zigzag off it again. A few small particles and bits and pieces mid-water there, but they're nothing substantial. Very small echoes. Come back up the ledge. A little bit of life on top of it there, nothing much. That could be a couple of fish hugging tight. But certainly nothing exposed, sitting out proud, that's for sure. But the beauty of having the high-wide 2D function is that you can see extra area down there. Because traditionally, you would have never seen it with narrow beam angles in high frequency. Now we're going to have a look at high frequency side scan. The Ultras have the 1120 kilohertz with the GT54 transducer, which is more for shallow water estuaries. We're going to have a look at this pylon here now. And you can see the pylon just coming through there. Looks like a turtle just this side of it. There's a turtle swimming around. A little bit of a clouded mass on the other side, which is partly obscured by the beacon itself. Okay, we're just about to pass another pylon. There it is there. Oh, clean skin. Doesn't look like there's much fish hanging around that. Just a little tiny one out to the right-hand side there. But you can see how we've gone past the pylon. You can see it upright to our left-hand side. And the high frequency gives you the best clarity, but it's only going to give you up to around about 15 metres of water before you start losing your coverage. But when you do lose your coverage and you're going out to deeper water, that's when you change over to 455 kilohertz. That's the benefit of the Ultra. It's got the 1120 for the shallow estuary work, nice and clear. And of course, then it's got the 455 to get out that little bit wider and check out those deeper waters. Okay, now I'm still in the high frequency and I'm coming up and have a look at an old wheelhouse off a wreck. And there it is there now, coming through on my starboard side. Oh, and a little bit to the port as well. And you can see it's looking a bit wavy there. That's because the boat's going up and down. We're a small boat in choppy seas. That's what gives that a wavy effect. And those black lines are brakes in transmission. But you can just make out that that is a wheelhouse, and you can see those nice, clear, defined shadows down in the bottom. Okay, you can see I've just gone over the wheelhouse on a different angle this time. We're going into the sea, that's why we've got a lot more wavy lines there, but you can see that nice square box and the nice square shadow. That's part of that old wheelhouse sitting on the bottom. Now, just in case you're thinking that the side image pictures I've shown so far have been pretty average, the day we filmed that was very rough with large tides. Here is one taken on a calm day with no run. So let's just pause that for a minute. As you can see here, we have a good school of tropical snapper known as fingermark, or golden snapper in the Northern Territory. They're around about 2.5 kilos each, and that's their shadows projecting over here next to a pylon. And we'll just play that again. And not long after we went past this pylon on our port side, we ran across a school of GTs as well, just wide of the pylon, on the opposite side of the vessel, and you can see here that they're small GTs around about that 3 kilo mark. You can see their forky tails and high flat bodies, so that gives away that they're GTs. As you can see, it is much clearer with no undulations and a crisper picture, really putting the high resolution 1120 kilohertz frequency to good use. So remember, on rough days or days with high tidal flow and lots of sediment flowing, you won't get a pretty picture no matter what unit you use. And here's those same trevally on the Livescope. After we pulled up and had a look around the pylon, we saw them still cruising around the edge of the pylon, and now they're heading back to it, right off the edge of the picture there. And also, this is our down imaging function, high frequency down imaging. You can see that they're barramundi, you can tell by the shape of them, and they're all squadroned nicely behind that little drop off there. So high frequency down imaging is great for inshore assessment. Okay, going to have a look at yet another pylon. This one's in a bit shallower, see what we can find around it. There's the pylon. Nah, not a lot of action around here today. Probably because it's very stirred up and big tide. So what we're going to do, going to head off to one of my old favourite spots, see if we can catch one, find one over there first and then catch one. There's actually a fish coming through there halfway through the screen now. Looks like a shark possibly. If it wasn't so rough, you would have got a better picture. That's what those wavy lines are too, because transducers measure distance, not depth. Look at that. Are you recording that?
I am now.
That's a shark following us, look. That's something following us in the water there. Yeah, well, it had 3 shadows as we were moving through, so he was going with us.
I did get only a glimpse of that.
Yeah. All right, let's head over to another spot, one of my favourites. See if we can find a barra over there and see if we can catch him. Now I can just see the shadow of one coming through there on his lonesome. Oh, there's another one there too. So there's a couple sitting here. We'll give them a go. Throw a few lures and see if we can catch one. He took it off the surface pretty well. He's fished around, I don't know, somewhere between 80 and 90, I think. Didn't get a good look at him. We saw 1 metre jump out of the water, feeding. Now this guy's come along and smashed my lure. Good fun. Well, hey! Nice little fish. Around 75 to 80 centimetres. Took it really well off the surface. It was a great smash. He's a good fighter for a little fish. Well, he's not that little, but nice little fish. He's an oceanic, although he's not a monster. Still a good fish. Nice little Hinchinbrook barra. Okay, let's get him back in the water. Just hold him upright. Let him get his own composure. Watch out for crocodiles. There she goes. So there you have it. It's a great little unit for anyone that fishes inshore. If you want to improve your sounder skills, we have a heap of resources on our Ryan Moody Fishing blog, including our comprehensive Sounder Skills 2 course. If you've ever struggled to identify what you're seeing on your fish finder or been confused about what frequency, range or settings to use, Sounder Skills 2 will explain it all for you. If you're interested in purchasing one of these units, we will include a link below. Please subscribe to our channel as we add great stuff all the time. Like us on Facebook or Insta, or if you'd like some special tips I send out by email only, head on over to our website www.ryanmoodyfishing.com and sign up for free email updates. Get in the great outdoors, keep fishing smarter, and I'll see you next time.